All right, guys, it's Connor with Hound Dog Motorsports, and if you guys notice, this is recorded on the same day that I did the front lip video. I wanted to go out, get some pictures of the front lip and stuff like that. You know, I haven't gotten any pictures of the car with the lip, or any lip. I've had all, before I did all the front end stuff. But besides that, I went ahead and I blew the clutch while I was at it. Don't know what happened. I'm not entirely sure, but I wasn't getting RPMs, and I wasn't getting any power until 3,000 RPM. And thankfully, I wasn't too far from home while I was data logging and on my way to Costco with Miss Hound Dog. And yeah, I went ahead and just popped. So it started smoking. Thankfully, I was able to get it home. It wasn't that bad, but I know the signs of a bad clutch versus boost lag. And yeah, now we're here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and replace the clutch. Yeah, I'll show you guys what I do along the way. This isn't too difficult of a job. It can be difficult because I don't have a lift, and I will be going out and buying a transmission jack because that's one of the few tools I don't have. And I'm hoping to get at least everything disconnected and ready to drop for tomorrow morning. This will be recorded over a couple days, but so far I plan on having it be a one-part video. I can't stand multiple part videos unless it's something big like an engine rebuild or whatever. But besides that, let's go ahead and get started. One of my favorite parts about working on this car is just finding all the shitbox stuff that no one would really, unless you're like a tech like me, would catch otherwise. Because look, literally there's supposed to be 8 of these. There's only 1. This ain't bracing shit, so why even put it back on? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just disappointing stuff like that. That's like, all right, if you guys can't tell, getting this exhaust out off the hangers itself kicked my ass. But we finally got her out. So I'm up underneath the car and I'm doing this, removing the slave cylinder the same way that I showed you guys in the slave cylinder bleeding removal replacement video. I just have about 2 feet of extensions attached to my electric ratchet, and I am successfully getting them off. Just got the bottom one off, which is obviously always the easiest one. And now I'm getting the top one off, and it's already on there. And I'm just going to run my ratchet, and it's going to come right on off. When working underneath this, I always suggest wearing glasses, because this insulation stuff, when it starts to flake off, it really, really hurts when it gets in your eyes. It feels like sandpaper. So it's always better just to be safe than sorry. Safety glasses are cheap at Harbor Freight, $1 each. And yeah, it's good insurance. And it's off. So now we have a great top view of where these bolts are, and I'm going to be straight up honest with y'all. I would have never seen these bolts had I been fishing it from the bottom, and that's why I recommend, if you guys ever do this in the future and you guys haven't pulled the transmission before, just go ahead and take the intake off. This took me all of like 10 minutes to do, and I just did it like a week ago. So just for, quality of life things, it's just easier to take all of this off. I'm going to plug up these intake holes because I don't want anything else getting in there. And then I'm going to start working on those bolts. All right, we got close. We already picked up the transmission jack. I've already been to Harbor Freight, but I'm going to have to take another trip back to Harbor Freight because I need an E18. My set only goes up to E16. All right, I got the coveted E18 now. I wish Harbor Freight sold, individual sockets like, Home Depot does. But this was $10. I'll pay $10 for some deep well sockets that I only have the short versions of. Hopefully I don't have to come back. Hopefully I have enough extensions. Dude, I have like 10 feet in extensions. I haven't done that before, the top bolt, but let's get to cracking. I want to get home. I want to get this done hopefully by 1 o'clock. Fingers crossed. And, get some parts ordered. So I'm hoping to get you guys in on a good angle of this, but right now what I'm doing is removing the clutch These are several H6s. Oh wow, they're all loose, dude. Holy shit. That one was relatively tight. Got one right here. I think the torque spec on these is like 9 Newton meters and then a 90-degree angle. So a few of these are to spec, like that one isn't. All right, I think that's all of them. That is off. And holy shit, that flywheel is heat soaked. And I got damage on the shaft itself. Not flywheel. You guys can see that is heat soaked. That is cooked. Ain't no fixing that one, Bubba. And the flywheel is cooked too. If you guys, here, let me bring y'all in for a closer look. Look at that tiger striping. Look at all those leopard prints. That thing is cooked. This thing has been launched hard. I've only launched this thing like 2 times and done like 3 or 4 burnouts at best. But man, that thing is cooked. And so is this shaft. So I will be buying a new flywheel too. Man, that sucks. All right, now we will be removing the flywheel, which is destined to be junked, unfortunately. I thought I could save it, but with that shaft being cooked. All right, now with this absolutely ghetto rigged setup, but it's working. I have a 22 with like a 1.5 inch extension onto the breaker bar, the 1/2 inch breaker bar, paracorded down to this. I'm gonna go back underneath there and loosen up the flywheel bolts and get the flywheel out. Back up underneath the car. This thing is gonna fight me. God dang, dude. Hey, at least it's not moving. Oh, all right, that one's loose. That one is loose. Press myself up against the wall. That one is loose. That seems to be the way. You know, that's probably the only perk that I've found of a single car garage is that I can bench press myself against the wall to get things loose. Oh, good God. All right, they're all loose though. I know sometimes you need a pry bar in order to get this thing off. Let's hope I don't. Oh, she's walking out. Oh, I got that shit on my mouth, dude. Oh my God. If this is a lightweight flywheel, this sucker is heavy as shit. Hey, at least the rear main ain't leaking. Now we got the back of the motor. Obviously, it's leaking from something. Don't know what it is. Oh, the oil pan. I got RTV. It seems to be the previous owner's best friend. There's RTV on everything. Mainly leaking from the corners, of course. But besides that, it looks relatively healthy. Minimal leakage. Sick. Now, we're going to go up top, out from underneath the car, and go check the damage on the flywheel and do some analysis. All right, coming down and looking at the clutch, you can see all the leopard printing at every metallic part on this thing. What I call leopard printing is the heat soak marks, like right here, 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 so on and so forth. You guys get it. You can see the rest of the clutch just chilling. Same thing here, all heat soaked, front and back. I guarantee you this thing was abused, before I bought it. This is worn pretty thin. And then what's even worse is this. You can't even get your finger in the rivets. Overall, this thing has had a rough life. A lot of launches. But with the new kit on the way, hopefully we won't have as many problems. All right, first up, we have the actual inside of the bell housing, and I'm pulling this off. This actually seems pretty healthy. This is the throwout bearing. It's not too bad. There is, I'm not sure if you guys can see it on camera, but there is a lot of clutch material in there, the fiberglass, stuff that's not good to get on your skin. That's in there. And then also the pins, they're where the pins sit. So the bushing and then the slave cylinder, that's also worn in pretty well. I'm actually willing to bet that these were reused. If you guys look closely, you can see that there is the brass fitting in here for the clutch. Man, it reeks of just burnt clutch, and that is not good. The brass pin is there in there. It is deformed, which is also no bueno. I upgraded to a stainless steel one, so we won't be having that issue. I'll be pulling that out. This so far, that rotates really well, and then the inside also rotates really well, the inner bearing. So we're big chilling on that. That is all for the inside. I will be cleaning it out, spraying it down, and making it look all pretty again. As you can see, there's a ton of debris and buildup on the bottom here. Also looks like that was replaced, which is really cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and spray it down and let it sit. Some people water their flowers. I'll water my transmissions. With the transmission looking as good as it does, what I'm going to do is wheel this back inside, clean up the garage a little bit, go in, order some more parts, and I'll get back to you guys once the parts are here.
One eternity later.
All right, so these are the two. This is the original nipple, whatever they call it. Obviously, it's deformed. You can see here how much of a difference those two have. And I should feel a major difference when shifting gears, getting into gear, so on and so forth. That one is just, man, night and day. That's at least a 1/4 inch shorter. But glad that's out. Glad I bought a replacement. I think the clutch kit even comes with one, but I don't need it because I got this one. I'm going to use my brass hammer so it won't deform. All right, she's in there. Next step is to apply a thin, I'm telling you, finger thin amount of grease to this shaft. I will not be replacing this wear item right here, mostly due in part to the fact that I did not get one. I didn't order one. Hindsight 2020, I should have ordered one, but I didn't. So, oh well. And then apply some to the back of these. Just a little drop. You don't need a lot. Spread it. And then I set it to the low side. The easiest way to remember that is at Euro spec. So if you're in Europe watching this, you want to use the high side. If you're in the US, you want to use the low side. So I have that set, sitting pretty. Let me get the spring. Everything I bought and purchased for this rebuild will be in the description. There we go. That's on. Hell yeah. All right, so everything is looking straight. I think I will double check, but I think it's ready to go back in the transmission. The transmission is ready to go back in the car. Good Lord. So what I'm doing here is installing some electrical tape. The reason why I'm doing that is because I do not trust that band, that circlip whatsoever. Upon reinstalling it, the transmission, that circlip had already slipped off. So what I'm doing is putting some tape there to hold it taut and like roughly into place. It's not the best. Heat shrink would have been better. Actually doing this outside of the car would have been better. Because the last thing I want to do is lose my gear. I got mostly everything bolted up. My GoPro stand, jerry-rigged GoPro stand, decided to self-destruct. So I'm trying to record as much of this as I go, but that might be out of the equation. Still got harness left to do, a few more other things left to do, but mostly it is all done. Just gotta do all the small stuff now, which isn't fun. All right, hopefully first start before 12. Still on track.
Nope.
You know what they say, you're one broken bolt away from making a 30-minute job into a 3-hour job. But thankfully, for the first time ever, I used my grinder and I cut a square, a Phillips head, a flathead into this broken bolt on the center support bearing, and it worked. First time that's ever worked. What I want to do is find a matching bolt, replace it, and then hopefully be ready to start her up. Now I'm going to test the pressure of the clutch, and it is kicking back. Everything seems to be good. That's a light clutch compared to that DKM. Good Lord. I do need to loosen up the shifter, because that feels way too tight. Not as notchy. It feels like I gotta force it. But the clutch feels good, which is good. Next step is going to be slap together the intake. All right, let's go. There you go. She's on there. Come on, man. All right, if you guys see here, these are the old exhaust gaskets, just absolutely crusted. These are probably as old as when his exhaust was redone. You can see how gross they are. I'm gonna have to hit these with a sander to get these entirely off, get new ones on, new bolts and stuff like that, and then also use some anti-seize on them, because I'm probably gonna have to end up doing this again for some other reason when I go single turbo or whatever I may be. And yeah, I don't want this to be as much as a PETA as it needs to be. I'm trying to watch my swearing there, but as you guys can see, it's just, disintegrating everywhere.
Early the next morning.
It's now the next day. I got a solid 6 hours of sleep. Today's goal, survive. All jokes aside, Today's goal is just to slap on the exhaust. Did all the heavy lifting yesterday. Should be smooth, steady sailing today. I just blew so much smoke out of that shit. Those off, and the surface is clean. I'm gonna take these and install them onto there once we get this exhaust underneath the car and have it cold. So to make my life a little bit easier, what I'm gonna do is now that I have one side of the downpipe bolted in, I'm gonna jack up this end and install the mufflers, and that should align everything up closer than what it is now. I don't want the full weight of the exhaust hanging off on two Chinesium bolts, if you know what I mean, because those aren't as reliable. Grease acts like temporary glue. I have just a really thin layer on there. Stick it on there. Hopefully it stays. I'm hoping that you guys can see this. Like I said, these angles are really hard to get. All right, so my GoPro decided to kill itself. Once again, not surprised. But we have the exhaust hooked up. We have everything ready to go for the first start with everything bolted up. Fingers crossed. First startup, not on jack stands. Definitely have an exhaust leak from that downpipe. It's like trying to learn clutch again. Learn stick. It feels good. I will say that. This feels incredible. Made it to the gas station. I always use that as a test. If you can make it to the gas station, it's pretty much reliable. Just so I can hear my exhaust again. Oh man, she's back. Fuck yes. Dude, honestly, I'm not gonna jinx myself, but I was expecting that to take longer. God, it feels so good to drive this car again. Fuck. I even got my ethanol testers. It's not like I'll need them soon because I got a 1,000-mile break-in period on this thing, but hey, it's better than nothing. Fuck, it feels good. I gotta drive like my grandma. Not like I really know her. God, I hate going up this curve. So far, I'd say it's a job well done. All right, guys, it's been a few days since I finished the clutch install. I think 3 days now, and the car's been running great. I've been putting about 50 miles on it since then, and I have no complaints, knock on wood. I'm actually gonna knock on wood this time because we know what happened last time. I blew my clutch. I don't want that to happen again. I would say the only complaints is the chatter from the Turner Motorsports Flywheel. It's like learning to drive stick shift again because it's a new clutch. And then the chatter. The chatter is really annoying, but if you raise your idle, it's not that bad. I'll show you guys how to do that in a short further on down the road. But besides that, it's been absolute stellar. I've been babying it, grandmaing it, and built E92 that's really, really difficult to do, but I've been maintaining it, you know, letting it warm up and all that other fun stuff. For the next few videos I have coming up, it's going to be some more basic maintenance stuff. You know, I'm saying that clutch work is basic maintenance, but I got to replace my Vanoses. Don't know what the plural of that is, but I got to replace those. Not saying I have to, but it's going to be more like preventative maintenance, especially since one of them is going bad. And then maybe look into the Teflon seals for those. But the biggest thing I got is the upgraded intercooler. This one's from Oil 3 Performance, so Chinese sub-brand, just like the rest of them. And this was on sale for less than $200, so you can't beat it. It's the 7.5 inch, so I am fully stoked to go ahead and install this. But I'll do that once I'm past my break-in period, because I want to be able to track my IATs and a few other things, you know, before and afters, and I don't really want to be influenced by the mods I've done to it to, you know, mob on it a little bit more. But besides that, if you guys have made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate y'all sticking around, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later.